Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and Assalamu alaikum. Dear students, I welcome you all in today's online class. As you all know that these days we are discussing environmental chemistry. So these are the topics for today. Today we aim at discussing industrial waste sources, effect of industrial pollutants, dissolved solids, effect of dissolved pollutants, thermal pollution, wastewater treatment and wastewater treatment and analysis, etc. So as a whole I can say that today we will cover the water pollutants, water pollution and wastewater treatment. So this chart is showing you the type of water pollutants or pollution. Kindly have a look that the water pollutants are divided into three categories, or you can say the water pollution is divided into three categories. The pollution which is caused by the suspended solids and sediments, ये वो pollutants ये वो fluents होंगे जो कि पानी में dissolve नहीं होते, suspended रहते हैं. Then coming towards the second category, dissolved solids. There are many harmful substances, there are many pollutants which affect the quality of water and make it unfit for the use of human and aquatic life by being dissolved in it. तो उनको हम रखते हैं dissolved solids की category में. Then comes the thermal pollution. This is the third category. This is because of the hot water released in the water bodies from industries. So this is how we categorically divide the water pollution on the basis of the different pollutants. Now the suspended solids and sediments, this category is having a wide range of pollutants like this may contain the oil spillage, livestock waste, industrial waste, leather industries. So all these come under the very first category, and the second category includes detergents, pesticides and chemical fertilizers. This map is showing you a very clear picture of what we are going to discuss onwards. So kindly have a look. यहाँ पर pause करें और इसको सही से analyze करें. In the previous lecture we have already discussed in detail the oil spillage and livestock waste. Today we will start our discussion from industrial waste. So dear students, industrial waste produces large quantities of effluents, and the industries that do so are leather industries or leather tanneries, the fertilizer making industries and the oil refineries, petrochemical, textile, food, sugar, paper, uh, rubber products, etc. So the industries, manufacturing industries, they are the source of water pollution. And the waste products of these industries may be heat, smoke, solid and water effluents. You can see in the picture that how these effluents or these harmful substances are being dumped into the water bodies directly without any recycling or without any treatment. So what happens when we do so, when the humans do so? Actually, the industrial pollutants are highly toxic organic compounds and heavy metals like lead, cadmium, chromium, mercury, arsenic, etc. Oil, grease, mineral acids are also released in small quantities, and these pollutants result in the contamination of water and make it harmful for irrigation and unfit for irrigation and drinking purposes. Now, coming towards these heavy metals I was talking about, so these heavy metals are very toxic. If they are continuously ingested through food, they accumulate into the body of an organisms and results into various diseases like anemia, kidney disorders, nervous disorders, high blood pressure, etc. So these days many people are suffering because of the many people are suffering from diseases caused by this contaminated water. especially the problems relevant to the kidneys. These are because of the wastewater, because of the contaminated water. Now, coming towards the leather tanneries, the very important thing I want to discuss in this regard is leather industries use chromium salt, which contain chromium having oxidation state 6. This is very toxic and carcinogenic, cancer causing. But if it is reduced to chromium having oxidation number 3, then its toxic effect can be reduced, and that chromium 3 can be precipitated in the form of chromium hydroxide as well. So this is about how we can prevent the maximum loss by reducing chromium 6 to chromium 3. Now, coming towards the second category, that is of dissolved salts. These are the substances that affect the quality of water by being dissolved in it, and they include detergents, pesticides, and chemical fertilizers. This is the second category I am repeating. So these three things I am going to discuss under this category, that detergents, pesticides, and chemical fertilizers. What about detergents? When the water containing detergents reaches the oceans, it is very harmful for the sea life, because detergents bound heavy metal ions like lead, cadmium, mercury, and transport it from sediments into the water, and these heavy metals are accumulated into the body of aquatic organisms, and those are very harmful. Now, coming towards the pesticides are the chemicals which are used to kill the pests, and they are used as a precautionary measures by the farmers, etc. But these pesticides have toxic effects as well, and these pesticides can prove very toxic for the aquatic life, and especially fish. Here are the three examples. Endrin, even in the traces, even in very small concentration, is reported to be toxic for catfish and other varieties of fish. DDT is another pesticide that affects the central nervous system of the fish, and toxaphene has been reported to cause bone degeneration in fish. So these pesticides, when being dissolved into the water, are finally they reach the sea water. They are very harmful for the aquatic life. Now, coming towards the fertilizers, as you all know that in order to enhance the yield of the fertilizers, in order to enhance the yield of the crops, many fertilizers are used, and these are mostly nitrate or phosphate salts. And you should know that when these fertilizers are used in excess, some of their unused quantity is washed away from the agricultural lands into the ponds, lakes, rivers, etc. with rainwater, and thus pollute the underground water and the surface water. And the wastewater coming from the fertilizer industries also contain the nitrogenous and phosphatic fertilizers. It means the water that comes from the industries where fertilizers are being produced. That is also very harmful. So what happens, this slide is very much important regarding the effect of the fertilizers on aquatic life, that the presence of fertilizers in the polluted water increases the growth of algae and other aquatic plants. These plants when decomposed produce disagreeable odor, बहुत बुरी smell होती है इनकी decomposition की, and the most important part is that these plants deplete the amount of O2 dissolved in water, and hence the survival of aquatic life becomes difficult, because you know that dissolved oxygen is very much important for the aquatic life, and because of this algae the level of dissolved oxygen reduces in the water. And after a long period, the lakes and slow moving water which contain plant nutrients are converted into swamps and marshes. Now, what are the swamps and marshes? Swamp is an area of very wet land with wild plants growing in it, and a marsh is an area of land which is very wet and muddy, जिनको आप दलदली इलाके भी कहते हैं. सो वो वाटर बॉडीज़ जिनके अंदर प्लांट की ग्रोथ इन्हांस हो जाती है, एल्गी की ग्रोथ इन्हांस हो जाती है बिकॉज ऑफ द प्रेजेंस ऑफ फर्टिलाइजर्स एंड अदर इफ्लुएंट्स, तो वो टर्बिड हो जाते हैं, वो स्मेली जगह हो जाती हैं, और वो पानी जो है वो फ्रेश नहीं रहता, या यू कैन से दैट द वाटर बिकम्स कंटेमिनेटेड. तो वो जगहें जो है वो बिल्कुल या तो वो मार्शी प्लेसेस में कन्वर्ट हो जाती हैं, और देर कन्वर्टेड इनटू स्वैम्प्स. And the water containing nitrate salt is definitely not useful for human beings, and this polluted water cannot be purified for drinking purposes as well. Now, coming towards the last category of pollution that we discussed briefly in the start, and that is thermal pollution. Dear students, this is a very unique category. You need to remember that many electric generating companies use water in the process of cooling their generators, and this hot water or heated water is then released into the system by causing warming trend of the surface water. And the thermal pollution results when a heated effluent is released into poorly flushed system. In these cases, the permanent temperature increase often results, which tend to decrease the solubility of dissolved oxygen. The last line is of great importance, that the permanent rise in the temperature of the water decreases the solubility of dissolved oxygen. So this line solely can explain that how toxic this type of pollution is, because dissolved oxygen is the need of almost all the aquatic organisms. Now here in the second point where it is written seaweeds, it is not seaweeds, it is actually seawater. So seawater, as you all know, is salty in nature. It is having lots of salts and all, and they tend to corrode the cooling pipes, which are generally constructed of copper and nickel alloys termed as monel. And because of that degradation, you can say, and because of that corroding, the amount of copper and nickel is increased into the water, and that is not very favorable for the aquatic life. And secondly, the screen covering the water intake pipes are rapidly foul with marine organisms, which decreases the flow of water into the plants. And other than that, the substances used for cleaning purposes are also very harmful. So dear student, that was all about the different sorts of pollution, water pollution. And now coming towards the wastewater treatment, that how we can deal with the problems relevant to the water pollution. So firstly, you need to remember that yes, water can be processed in several ways before being dumped into the water bodies. That makes those effluents less harmful for the aquatic life. So firstly, you need to remember that वो सारी की सारी चीज़ें, वो सारे के सारे केमिकल्स जिनको हम डंप करते हैं वाटर बॉडीज़ में डायरेक्टली और उसको पोल्यूट करते हैं, फर्स्टली दे कैन बी रिसाइकल्ड, they can be converted into less harmful and less toxic substances, and then the contaminated water can also be processed in many cases and make it fit for use, but that is the second option. Now this is the treatment of industrial wastewater, that how we can treat the industrial waste water. Firstly, it has been divided into different categories. You need to remember that the different types of contamination of wastewater requires a variety of strategies to remove the contamination. For example, for the removal of solid materials Sedimentation techniques are used which convert the effluents, which convert the toxic substances into sludge and slurry, and that can be removed. So slurry is basically a semi-liquid type substance which is formed because of the suspension of the coal particles etc. into the water. तो उनसे जो एक टेक्सचर बनता है दैट इज़ स्लरी, एंड स्लज इज़ ऑल्सो अ सॉर्ट ऑफ semi liquid mixture, is a mixture of liquid. So you can google it, you can go for the definition of sludge and slurry, but do remember that solid particles present in water can be removed by the sedimentation process, and they can be recovered as sludge and slurry. Now coming towards the oils and greases, how we can remove the oils and greases from water. We can remove these things by skimming. Skimming means to remove something from the surface of the water, right? तो इन ये जो oils and greases हैं इनको आप skimming process से, ये skimming devices से remove कर सकते हैं. And coming towards the soft organics, the organic materials of plants are animal origin. Those are termed as soft organics, are usually possible to treat using extended conventional wastewater treatments. But the presence of disinfectants and pesticides and antibodies, they make the process difficult. Now coming towards the hard organics, we need to remember the difference between hard and soft organics as well. That the soft organic compounds are those materials of plants and animal origin, and hard organics materials including solvents, paints, pharmaceutical, pesticides, cooking products etc. are very difficult to treat, and treatment methods are often specific to the materials being treated. Methods includes distillation, adsorption, nitrification etc. So this is how the different substances can be dealt regarding the treatment of industrial wastewater. Now coming towards other category, that is acids and alkalis, how they can be treated, how they can be removed from the water. They can be removed by neutralization under the control conditions. As you know that acid and alkalis can undergo the neutralization, and then they can be removed by the process of precipitation, because neutralization frequently produces the precipitates that will require treatment as a solid residue that may also be toxic in fact. And in some cases gases may be evolved requiring treatment for the gas stream. And now coming towards the last category, that is the toxic materials. They include heavy metals like arsenic, selenium etc. And these are generally resistant to the biological processes unless they are very dilute, and materials can often be precipitated out by changing the, and these materials in fact can often be precipitated out by changing the pH or by the treatment with other chemicals. So you need to have a very clear idea about all these things, और इन चीज़ों के बारे में अगर आप इनको कैटेगोरिकली याद रखते हैं और इनकी एग्जांपल्स को याद रखते हैं और इनके बारे में ब्रीफली थोड़ी थोड़ी डिटेल को याद रख लेते हैं, बहुत ज़्यादा को नहीं, देन you can cover the topics regarding paper point of view. This is all for today. Thank you so much. Stay blessed, stay safe.